105 in there.
The blocks are starting to burn.
Cinder blocks.
He's right, the blocks are starting to burn. A little girl has the awesome power to make anything burst into flames, and Firestarter, one of the new movies we'll be reviewing this week on At the Movies. And joining me here in the balcony is Gene Siskel, film critic of the Chicago Tribune.
And across the aisle from me, Roger Ebert, film critic of the Chicago Sun-Times. In addition to Firestarter, we'll also be reviewing a California fun-in-the-sun bikini picture called Hardbodies, and Sugarcane Alley, about the birth of a young writer amid the sugarcane fields and shacks of Martinique. But first, Roger begins with the latest in a growing trend in young musical films, a breakdancing picture called Breakin.
The urban dance craze called breakdancing is sort of a combination of dancing and a very heavy-duty acrobatic workout. Big city kids do it on street corners with music supplied by their high-powered ghetto blasters. And this summer, there are going to be a lot of breakdancing movies around. The first one, called Breakin', is here now, starring Lucinda Dickey as a serious dance student who meets a couple of street guys and thinks they're really talented. And in this scene, they decide to join up and form a dance team.
Boy, do I have an idea. We'll put together our own act. What a team. The three of you and me as manager. She ain't no street dancer. She knows nothing about what we do. She can learn.
Yeah? How?
You can teach me.
Man, now I know we're in trouble.
Got you effortlessly. That's the way it was. It happened so naturally. Didn't I know it was love? The next thing I got was you holding me close. What was I gonna do? I let myself go. And now we fly through the stars. I hope this night will last forever. I've been waiting for you. So long. I knew just what I would do when I heard your song. Filled my heart with bliss, gave me freedom. You knew I could not resist. I needed someone, and now we're flying through the stars. I hope this night lasts forever. Ain't nobody love me better, make me happy, make me feel this way. Ain't nobody love me better.
Looking at the first part of that scene, I was trying to think what it reminded me of, and of course it's the old, hey gang, let's rent a barn and put on a show, and that's more or less what they do. She introduces them to her manager, and they rent a rehearsal hall.
Now this is it. You guys can't let me down now. I'm going to call all my friends in the business and get you in that competition. And you better be good. Just see these kids. That's all I wanted you to do. Just see them, and then you'll know. It's the most exciting thing that's happened to dance in a long time.
Those other dancers are named Shubadoo Keonis and Shrimp Chambers. There's a lot in this movie about how you have to have a street name. I guess Shubadoo and Shrimp are their street names, and they name their girlfriend their Special K. The breakdancing itself is the best thing about this movie. It's amazing the way these dancers can spin around on their heads and do all those weird gymnastics. There's even one great sequence in the movie where a paraplegic who doesn't have the use of his legs is able to break dance on his crutches. It's amazing to see. It's a lot of fun. It's all in time to the music, and I liked watching the dance scenes in Breakin' very much. It's just the other scenes that are no good. They were painfully slow, all filled with all sorts of discussions that nobody in the audience really cares about. Let's have the music. They were loaded down with distracting subplots about jealous dancers and ambitious managers. And Breakin', I think, is basically just a quickie with some good scenes in it to warm us up for the more ambitious breakdance movies that are going to come later this summer.
And I liked it. I was caught by surprise because it's obviously a very low-budget affair, but I think you could see, even in the section we just looked there, at the that whole thing with the hands, just those little inserts. That's that's extra stuff in this movie. And there are things that are not in this picture that I would have thought in a quickie film. She isn't frankly raped. I would have expected that. Probably by the manager. Not done. The manager has his own agenda, and she has her agenda in the work. These young boys have an agenda of their own. They want to legitimize their kind of dancing. They feel... I was caught up with these characters, and the movie in its sort of gritty street reality with those two guys, I thought mirrored what I liked so much about Saturday Night Fever many years ago.
You know, I think we've seen so many exploitation films that were really cynical. When you pointed out, for example, gee, here's a dance movie where the girl isn't raped. For a second I was shocked, then I realized you're right. Usually in these films they throw in some really rough stuff for no particular purpose at all. This is a sweet film. It's cheerful. It has high energy. It has great dance sequences. I give it only a marginal thumbs down. It's just because I thought the plot was so dumb, but I love the dancing. I love all three of the dancers.
Well, that's an awful lot. You like the dancing and the three characters. That's almost the whole movie. Coming up next at the movies, the little girl from E.T. can now start fires just by staring at something. E.T. phone 911.
Please don't make me do anything.
Firestarter is the latest movie from the Stephen King film factory. In goes the hit book. More often than not, out comes the bad movie. And in the case of Firestarter, a very bad movie. The story of a little girl who has pyrokinetic powers, which means that she can start fires just by looking at something or someone. She's sort of a Carrie-like character. Flambe. Firestarter stars Drew Barrymore as the Firestarter, and in this scene, it's typical of the movie with the sweet-faced little girl from E.T. being forced here to turn on her flame power when she is threatened by government agents who want to use her as a secret weapon.
Hi, Andy. Hi, Charlie. Honey, you don't have to run anymore.
Go away.
Afraid I can't do that, honey. I have my orders. No one wants to hurt you or your daddy.
You liar. You're supposed to kill him, and I know it.
I'd advise you do what my daughter says. I mean, you know why she's wanted. Remember the soldier at the airport?
You met a trespass. I want you to get the hell off my property.
We're government agents, sir. These two folks are wanted for questioning, nothing more.
I don't care if they're wanted for assassinating the president. Show me a warrant to get the hell off my land.
We don't need a warrant.
You do unless I woke up in Russia this morning.
If you'll just get in the car, we can discuss all this. Honest to gosh. There's nothing going on here except...
We know what's going on.
Please don't make me do anything.
Get out! Don't you understand what she's doing? Can't you feel it? Don't be stupid. If we could only discuss this, please.
Watch it, Andy, watch it!
Not the girl! Not the girl!
I I think this movie may be, it's a terrible film. I think this movie may be making an unintentional political point there. You notice that the chickens got out of the way before the CIA did. You know? Okay. Frankly, all we wait for in this movie are the fireball scenes like that, and they turn out to be nothing special. You see the line of fire, the explosion, and then if you look closely, you can see that the human target of that little girl's firepower is wearing a special fire suit complete with head covering. It's not well camouflaged stunt work, so even the sadists in the audience, hoping to see somebody fried, they won't even enjoy Firestarter.
In the good Stephen King movies, like The Dead Zone, where you had Christopher Walken, you really sympathize with his character and with the problems of having this strange psychic power.
Very good point.
In this movie, it's simply a gimmick.
Yeah.
The girl narrows her eyes, somebody goes up in flames, the government scientists run around like crazy, and then we repeat it all again, with the additional very unsavory element of the George C. Scott character, who is apparently a child molester. And then they rewrote all of his dialogue so you don't know quite what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And
he likes to break noses, I know.
Yeah, and he wants to break that little girl's nose, and I could have done without that speech. And indeed, the whole movie just seemed to me like lots of sensational scenes in search of something to be about. And
another example of what you're talking about, of not giving the girl the character, go back to Carrie, which is, this film is basically a quickie ripoff of. The character of Carrie, played by Sissy Spacek, was worthy of getting an Academy Award nomination, and she was a fully realized character, and her wrath made sense. Here, it's just, you know, freak show because it's a little girl. And I really felt sorry seeing this little Drew Barrymore, who was a cute little girl, saying a lot of mean lines, unhappy lines. Just unsettling film.
Just a special effects picture. Coming up next at the movies, Hardbodies, about how to pick up girls on the beach, assuming that both you and the girls are very, very stupid. Our next movie is named Hardbodies, and it's the latest example of dozens of movies which all have exactly the same plot line, which consists of, let's get a low-budget crew together, round up a couple of dozen starlets in bikinis, go down to the beach and shoot a dumb, soft-core sex movie. You can usually spot a movie like this because all of the adult extras in the movie look like they're either investors in the movie or the director's relatives. In Hardbodies, the story is about three middle-aged businessmen who rent an apartment on the beach and then hire a beach bum to teach him how to pick up girls. Here's one of his brilliant lessons.
Yeah, I'm okay. I was just watching this incredible-looking blonde skater. I wasn't looking where I... Oh, God. Oh, wow. Oh. I am really embarrassed. I can't believe I just said all that. I am really embarrassed.
You were really watching me when you tripped.
I started watching. You were all the way up the beach over there. You are absolutely beautiful. You're a model, right?
No, I want to be, but right now I'm just waiting tables for a living.
You are waiting tables. Well, listen, we are having a party on Saturday night, and practically every modeling agent in this city is going to be there. And I bet you they'd love to meet you.
Really?
This room is all mine. Can you stand it?
Just barely. What are all those knobs?
Later in the movie, the beach bum moves into the businessman's beach apartment and tests out the master bedroom with his girlfriend.
Let's see, this is the master. And this.
Whoa. Whoa!
And now for some motion.
Oh, too cool. Perfect way to write my own room.
And now for some atmosphere.
Oh, fuck.
It's always interesting to watch the behavior patterns of people whose mutual IQ is 29. Hardbodies contains a couple of good laughs, but that's not enough for a full-length movie. It also contains a lot of good-looking girls, but here's the problem I had with them. None of the female characters in this movie are ever allowed to be people or to have individual characters of their own. That guy's girlfriend in that last scene probably comes the closest, but most of the women are just walk-ons and sex objects. There's an all-girl rock band in this movie that has a lead singer who looks like she'd be the most interesting person on the beach, but does she get to be a character? Not a chance. The screenplay gives all the dialogue to three boring middle-aged businessmen. What a shame. Hardbodies is advertised like a teenage movie, but it looks to me more like it was made by boring middle-aged businessmen for boring middle-aged businessmen.
Yes, it's true, because the film does leer a lot, and it also gets away from its very fun beginning. You know, I get quite optimistic when I see the bikini shots on the beach. I think I'm going to finally get a good summertime picture, and then this thing just sort of sunk into that same trough of fat old men, looking at cute young girls. I don't know why they had to go that direction, and then it even falls further into just slapstick at the party and people falling into
I like the first 10 minutes too. They had one great sight gag, and they used it even before the titles. They were so eager to get it in, and I'm thinking, hey, maybe this movie will be funny. I would like to see a high-energy, amusing, entertaining beach party picture. If they would only make one instead of this junk.
Yeah, too bad. Coming up next at the movies, the story of how a young kid makes his way out of total poverty. Our next film is called Sugarcane Alley, and it's set in Martinique in 1931, telling the sweet and painful story of how one young boy, with the help of his grandmother and a wise old man, grows out of the shantytown village in which he was born and receives a first-class education which releases the talents within him. But to break out of the cycle of racism that keeps him down, the young boy first must go against the lifestyle of his young friends in the field.
Feignant. Ta grand-mère croit peut-être qu'un jour tu seras fonctionnaire.
Tu n'as pas honte? T'aimes que bonne paye comme les bonnes personnes, bec que tu vas nous regarder le bec sec. Mais dis madame, faut donner avec ça.
Non, je veux travailler aussi. Tous les autres travaillent sauf moi.
Petit misérable, tu voudrais que je te fiche dans la canne toi aussi, comme tous ces nègres sans orgueil, qui foutent leurs enfants dans les mêmes malheurs.
Sugarcane Alley is full of convincing characters like the little boy and his grandmother there and the old man in the village who believes in sort of a back to Africa movement because he sees the trap his fellow villagers are in. But this very wise film also sees another way of escaping racism that is not by fleeing, but through education. All of that probably makes Sugarcane Alley sound like some kind of goody-goody movie with its nobility that is kind of suffocating if you're sitting in the audience trying to be entertained. But that's not so. The filmmaking by Uzhan Palsi is so simple and direct that at times we believe we are watching a documentary filled with unforgettable characters as real as anyone we've met in real life. I really enjoyed Sugarcane Alley.
I really liked it too. I think it's one of the best movies I've seen in a long time, and it came right out of left field. I hadn't heard too much about it. I went to see it and I thought, this is really interesting. This is not just a romanticized view of life 50 years ago, and it's not simply a Horatio Alger rags to riches story. It's very specific. It shows the situation that the character was in, what happened to him, what he did, what his grandmother was able to do, and also how luck played a part too, and how he's able to look back on these people with love and with appreciation. It's a good movie.
Yeah, it has a very hard edge to it too. As sweet as it is on the boy, it is uncompromising in its view of the racism that keeps these people in their place, and it is one of these amazing cases where you see, why does someone make it and other people don't? The luck, the good fortune, and the care that goes into someone making it.
It's a real good movie. And now let's take another look at the movies that we've already reviewed on this program. We had a split decision on Breakin, the breakdance movie. Gene liked its energy and spirit. I did too, but I thought the dance sequences marooned inside a really dumb plot. 2 thumbs down for Firestarter, the latest Stephen King thriller, the disconnected story of that little girl who can start fires with her mind. And 2 more thumbs down for the moronic comedy Hardbodies, in which the characters' bodies were not quite as hard as their heads. finally, 2 thumbs up for Sugarcane Alley, a really good movie, the story of the childhood and young manhood of a boy who grows up in a shanty town in Martinique. And I think that's the one that we both feel the most strongly about this week.
And I'd say take a shot on Breakin, too. Well, that's it for this week. Next week at the movies, a special show devoted to the films of 36-year-old Steven Spielberg, the most popular filmmaker working today. We'll take a look at scenes from Jaws, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, E.T., Raiders of the Lost Ark, what a list, and also the new Raiders movie called Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, as we try to discover just what it is that Steven Spielberg knows that the other filmmakers working today don't know.
Don't look at me, though. Look right off you.
That's scary. That's next week, The Secret of Spielberg, and in 2 weeks we'll review Indiana Jones and also Robert Redford in The Natural. And until then, we'll see you at the movies.